Hi, boys and girls, and we are going to do our math lesson today, Chapter 8, Lesson 2. Here we go. Loading it up. Okay. And we are going to compare and order lengths today. And it is continuing on with the essential question, how do I determine length and time? So before we continue, let's do a little problem of the day warm-up, okay? So if you haven't gotten your pencil and paper nearby, pause this, come back when you're done, and I will read the problem of the day for you. All right, so here we go. Write a number sentence to solve this. Ling has 19 markers. Hero has 8 markers. How many more markers does Ling have? So we haven't done one of these for a little while, so think about that. Ling has 19. Hero has 8. All right, so think. Do you use addition or subtraction to find out how many more does Ling have? All right, let's check. If you need to pause now to write your answer. Put it in a math sentence. Don't forget the symbols, okay? Ready? 19, that's what Ling has. Hero has 8, so 19 minus 8 equals 11. Ling has 11 more markers. And remember, I've told you that whenever you have a math sentence, it's important through math to always have a label. Okay, so they've put the label here for us. Okay, so the next. Now listen to this one, because this could sound a little crazy if I read it fast and we didn't take our time to think about it. The bandage is shorter than the feather. The feather is shorter than the clarinet. Is the clarinet shorter than or longer than the bandage? Look at that. Is the clarinet, that's correct, it is longer than the bandage. Good job. Okay. All right. Which object is shorter than the pencil? Here's the pencil. Which is shorter than the pencil? Let's see if you have your answer that I'm thinking of. That's right, it's the crayon, because these are either the same or maybe a tiny bit more. Okay, so let's look at the next one. All right, now, here's something I want to talk to you about. When we investigate and we start using terms like long or short, okay, you have to be very careful when they're talking about the word. So let's look at this. You're going to put long, longer, and longest next to those objects to compare the lengths of them, okay? Now, I like to usually start with, for the word long, I like to look and see, well, which one is longest, okay? Because that might be able to help me figure out what the other two would be. So, as you can see here, here is, let me put this. My line's crooked, they're not. They have everything lined up. My line is over too far, but they have everything lined up even. Okay, so let's look down over here. All right, which is the longest thing? That's right, the fishing pole. Okay, so for that one, I would write, and you know me with the computer and writing with my right hand, since I'm left-handed, not a good thing. Longest. This one is the longest. Okay. Ugh, yuck. I know you guys print neater than this. Okay, longest. Now, which one of these, this is longer than that, isn't it? So then we could say that the butter is long. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. I know that looks like long, and this is longer. I'm not going to write the next word. Longer, okay? So now I'm going to see if I can get rid of this stuff. All right, let's erase. Just erase, erase, erase. Okay, make it a big eraser. Yeah. Oh, oh my goodness. I know, you're laughing at me, and I agree. It's just like when I used to use the whiteboard and mess things up, okay? All right, so now let's move on to the next slide. Let's see how we did. Yep, longest. The butter was long. The carrot was longer than the butter. All right. Now, the reason I say start with longest, you're going to look and you might say, well, this is pretty long. But then once you start writing each of the others, you're going to realize, oh, wait a minute. This is the longest one. I always like to start with the longest. Now, let's look when we talk. But if you can do long, longer, and longest, you do what is easiest for you. Okay. Now let's look at this one. This one, they're talking about short, shorter, shortest. Okay. A Band-Aid, a jump rope, a xylophone. Okay. All right. Now, if I were to say to you which one is short, you're going to look and say, well, of course, the Band-Aid. But then what's shorter than the Band-Aid? So we could say, that's right, the xylophone. No. Oh, the jump rope, right? The jump rope is short. What is shorter than the jump rope? The xylophone. And what is the shortest of all? The Band-Aid. Okay, very good. Let's check our work. Yep, short, shorter, shortest. Very good. Okay, so we're going to compare these objects. Now, they want you to write a list of objects in the order of short, shorter, shortest. Okay, which is short? Okay, the vine or the branch. Which is shorter than this? The feather. And what's the shortest of all of them? The chalk. Very good. Okay, there you go. So say we said that branch, feather, and chalk. All right. So this today, all right, is just to see what, well, you know what? Let's see what it says. For example, it says find two objects that fit in the box. Okay, now again, if it's the paper, we all know that the box on the paper is smaller, okay? And you can draw them. If you don't have a box, if you don't have a paper that you can print like this, maybe you want to just take a regular piece of paper, okay, and pretend that's a box and see what you can put in it, okay? So it doesn't have to be something that is going to drive everybody crazy at your house trying to find something. So this is for practice. Find two objects that will fit in the box. So you could find two objects that fit on your paper. Draw them in the box or on the paper. Circle the object that's longer, okay, the longer of the two items. Put an X on the object that is shorter, okay? So for instance, here's my paper, okay? I have two things. I have my snazzy pencil here, oops, okay? And I have a highlighter right here, okay? So I would draw them both on the paper. Which object am I going to circle? That's correct, my fuzzy pencil, okay? I'm going to circle, after I draw it on here, I'm going to circle it, and then my highlighter, I'll draw it, and then I'm going to put an X on it. Very good. Okay, good job. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. See and show. Now, we can also order things with numbers. We can use words and numbers. Now, the thing is, you have to be sure about what they are asking before you start writing numbers, okay? So you can compare and order the lengths of objects: scissors, watercolor paint, and a pencil. So here they want to know, we're using the word long. So they're saying that the pencil is longer than the scissors and the paint set is the longest. So they are starting with the word long. So that would be number one. What's okay? Now they're saying that the pencil is longer than the scissors. So that's number two. And number three is the longest. Now they're starting here with short, shorter, and shortest. The bookmark, okay, let's see. I'm trying to explain this to you so that, because this is a little confusing sometimes, I know, for some of my boys and girls. Okay, so using the word short, knowing that it's going to be short, shorter, shortest, you're going to start with short. So number one, I'm sorry, not pencil, the paintbrush. I'm seeing the pencil up here. The paintbrush is number one. Then the bookmark is shorter than the paintbrush. And the pen is the shortest of them all. Okay? So before we start writing numbers on things, just look very carefully at which word they're asking you for, long or short. And then remember, here, long begins number one. Here, short begins number one. Okay? Just take your time. You will get it. It's just the way they have it numbered. It can be a little confusing sometimes. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, for this, it says find objects in the classroom. Well, we're not in the classroom. You can just look at these pictures here, the paintbrush and the paint tube of paint, a crayon and a pencil. If you have these in your house, you can try it and circle which one, okay? Now this one, I like that they did this. Write 1 for long, 2 for longer, 3 for longest. And just look at this picture and fill out the numbers, okay? So here, okay, and then there's the answers. Now, on your own, well, let's see, what other objects could we use to compare lengths? Well, I could compare some scissors. I could use that. And actually, I could use, look at this. I have 3 types of scissors here. Okay, so I could compare these. All right, I could use, if I wanted to know which is short, well, this is short. This is shorter than the blue handle, and the dark blue ones are the shortest of all 3. Okay, or I could say this is long. The silver's longer than the dark blue, and then the teal is the longest of all. Okay, so you could take, and these just happen to be the same type of items. You could use any 3 different items or 3 of the same, but they could be different, like those scissors were, okay, because they were different lengths, and we use them for different things around my house. Okay, now on your own, again, forget where it says find objects. If you want to try comparing things at home, great, okay? But otherwise, you can just look at these pictures and continue completing those and writing numbers, okay? So for today's lesson, you're going to continue doing on your own for the math, okay? And let's look at our problem solving here, all right? We'll talk about this one. Zoe writes 1 for long, 2 for longer, and 3 for longest. Tell why Zoe is wrong and make it right. Okay. Now, as I said, if you just looked at the pencil and you'd say, yeah, that's a long pencil. But Is that cube really the longest of all? That's right. So I would say, all right, Zoe, she's incorrect. Okay, the block, it should be number 1. The chalk is still number 2, and the pencil is longest. Okay, so now you can tell an adult or somebody in your house that, or you can just change the numbers so that it shows it correctly. And then you will also complete the homework practice page. Okay? And you can send copies of that to me. You have 2 days to do your math. Continue to practice your MobyMax with your facts. You guys are doing fantastic. I get reports on the email and I check it online, and you're doing super duper great. So keep up the great work and see you soon. Bye.